So this is actually my half recipe because the customer is only needing a dozen cookies, which I normally don't do. But this customer has been reaching out to me to do cookies for her, and because of scheduling, I've been unable to do it. So I decided to squeeze her in. So this recipe is going to call for 3 cups of flour, 1 egg, 2 sticks of butter, unsalted, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I normally use 2 teaspoons only because that's my preference. I love the taste of vanilla. This is actually a Dominican brand of vanilla, which I purchased in New York. It is available on Amazon. I will post a link below. I will also post a link for this recipe below on my YouTube channel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and make the dough for the cookies. I have my paddle attachment ready with my bowl. So I'm going to start off with the butter. And I like to use room temperature butter, and I like to cube it so it's easier for my mixer. So I'm adding the sugar and butter. And I just want to mix this for a couple of minutes until it's really well incorporated. Get my spatula. So you want to stop it and kind of just help the mixture out a little bit by mixing, scraping down the sides. Do that. So you can see how it's incorporating there. Ahead, scrape down the side. Okay, so I am back, and you see your dough, most of it's like all pulled here. So you're just gonna scoop it up like so, like a nice mix. And then I prefer to use gloves only because cookie dough can get a little sticky. So I'm gonna take it out. And this was actually really well incorporated because I was just scraping down from the sides and the bottom, so you see like there's really no crumbs on the bottom. Okay, so this is what your dough is supposed to look like. Make sure you just put it all together into a nice ball. And this dough would definitely get you like a little more than 12 cookies depending on size. I normally have enough more than 12 cookies from just a half a batter. Okay, and then you're going to take plastic wrap. Wrap it up. Now, this recipe does not need to be chilled. So if you're in a rush, or let's say you made a batch and then you didn't have enough and you need to make a quick batch, this recipe does not need to be chilled. However, I prefer to chill it only because it's so much easier to work with the cookie and transport the cookie from the silicone mat to the baking sheet or parchment paper, whatever you guys use. It's just much easier to transport the transfer the cookie that way. So you could chill this, for a couple hours, depending, your urgency, but chill it for a couple hours. All right, so the dough is now been chilled for a couple hours. Normally I don't leave it in there for that long, especially if I'm going to make the cookies the same day. But I got a little caught up with baking, so it was left there way longer than I intended it to be. Just We're gonna put on. All right, so I love these. I don't know what these are called. I guess cookie levelers. I guess I don't know. But they're about 1/4 inch thick. So the red ones are actually the ones I go to most. It does come in a set of 3. So you have these super thin ones. I actually use this a lot, the black ones, for like fondant when I need to make strips. And then I have these as well in white. I use these as well, but not for cookies, only because I like the cookie to be a little bit softer, and I feel that these bake better, or the cookies bake better when they're about this thick. So that's just my preference, but if you guys have those and there's a particular length you guys like, I guess, you know, you can use whatever you feel most comfortable with. It doesn't get stuck or roll up. Sorry if you guys hear my dog in the back. I have the patio open. It's a beautiful, cool day in Florida today, so gotta enjoy when the weather is cooler. You want to feel like, make sure that it's smooth, but these little levels really, really help with that. So nice, good roll. There we go. More. Mix it up. And then I like to cut off the excess on the edge so that way it doesn't touch the counter. Okay. See here? It's all smooth, so you can feel that it's all one level. So that's what you're going for. Okay, this off to the side. And it's so easy when you're able, when you have it chilled, to use a cookie cutter. It's much, much easier to get a nice clean cut. And you could eat these cookies like this. You don't necessarily have to use royal icing on them. They're good just like this. Nice cup of coffee. Usually mine's bake within 11 minutes, give or take. So you're going to bake them at 350. Again, 9 to 12 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. I like my cookies to be somewhat soft, so I try not to overbake them. So I start off at 9 minutes, and then if they're still a little white or raw along the edges, I put it in minute increments, and then until they get like a nice little light color just around the edges. So the cookies have baked. These actually took 10 minutes to bake. What I like to do to get perfectly smooth tops, I like to use my fondant smoother. And as soon as they are out of the oven, I just like to iron them. And just put a little bit of pressure. If you see like any bumps or anything, you can actually feel it. But as you can see, there was no spreading. My cookies, they're all perfectly round. Thank you for checking in.